Welcome to day 2 of our practice to overcome perfectionism, which is a key driver to procrastination. So let's talk about stress today. But first of all, let's have some coffee or tea, and congratulations on turning on this video. You've done the biggest step already. Turning on this video and working together with me, really I'm very honored that we do this together and that you trust me enough to do this with me. My name is Gwen Bach and I use applied neuroscience to help you overcome procrastination. In every video you will get no fluff step-by-step tools to help you break the procrastination habit right now. So again, let's have some coffee and let's dive right into it. I've made some notes here. You will find them once it's done in the workbook. And what we're talking about today is stress. And I know I've done videos on stress before. I think it's a very, very important topic because I think often we believe stress is just work and only high-powered managers have stress, but that's not true. We have all those psychosocial stressors and we have those daily stressors like traffic or the neighbor's dog barking or I don't know, the lights blinking or anything, all those small daily things, and they really add up. And then we have all those bigger things like we have a new boss, a new job, or we move to another city, all those changes, or even just Christmas coming or a big birthday party or your mom or your mother-in-law coming to visit, all of those things. And some of them are very happy and nevertheless, they cause our brain and our body stress. So what we will do a little later is doing the life change index, which is a stress test. And you'll see very often small things kind of add up. A picture I like to use there is that we often are like a frog in cold water and the water is slowly heated and it gets hotter and hotter and the frog does not realize he's been cooked to death. So for us, it's often the same thing. We don't realize our stress levels. For me personally, it's been just a eureka moment this morning where I realized, hey, my trouble sleeping since I have this flu is most likely a stress response because the day I took the time to do about an hour of yoga and deep breathing was the only night I slept well. So of course, I'm a scientist, correlation is not causation, but still reducing stress is always very beneficial. So anyway, we have our coffee. If you don't already have the file to do the life change index, you can either send me a message on either LinkedIn or Facebook, or just comment below stress test and I will send it right over to you. Okay, so what happens when we procrastinate? I mean, actually, what makes us procrastinate? And according to the, according to the research by C. Royce, and she writes in her book and some of her studies with Pykill, I think it's from 2023, she defines procrastination as a short-term mood repair and we put that over our long-term outcome. So what happens when we're stressed? When we're stressed, we obviously are not in a great mood. Nobody likes to be stressed, even if we don't notice it. And it can just be that guy cutting into our lane or not moving from our lane, whatever the thing, or the colleague not sending the paper he or she said he would send, any of those things. So we have those small stressors and they don't make us feel good. And they add up because our modern life is just the way it is. And we don't feel good. And then this slightly aversive task comes up. And it can be something maybe we don't feel we have the self-efficacy to do it properly. Maybe we just have this whole perfectionism thing going on where we feel like, oh, we need to have it perfect and I need to create this video to be perfect. I need to have this perfect cake. I need to clean up the garage perfectly. Everything needs to be perfect. I need to be in the perfect mood to study and all those things. So if we have this perfectionism thing going on, which increases our stress, and then we're even more likely to procrastinate. And there are two things going on because Nobody sits down, nobody of us sits down and says, hey, I really want to fail in this exam, and this is why I will not study and I will rather doom scroll on Instagram. Nobody does that. We all sit down and we have the perfect intention to sit down for a few hours and focus on the material for the exam. And then suddenly something happened and we've been a few hours on Instagram. And that only after we've groomed the dog, we've had another cup of coffee, we had some chocolate, we fixed that squeaking door, we cleaned out our email inbox. After all those things, we realize, oh my goodness, I did not study. So it's not the conscious decision, let me, waste my day. Nobody does that. So we have two things going on here. We have on the one side, this whole underlying stress thing, and then we have this unconscious decision that we made at some point. And the whole thing is if we're stressed, our brain is way more likely to go on autopilot mode. And if we're on autopilot mode, our brain will go the easier route. It will choose the more comforting thing to do. It will choose the chocolate cake over the green salad. It will choose Netflix over having to study. And this is why it's so important to monitor your stress levels. And a few days ago in another video, I talked about this too, that I was so surprised at the high level of my stress. And it wasn't the big things. It were the small things like Christmas coming or a change in work or traveling. And all those small things added up to this really high stress level. And so I know for myself, I've just put that in my calendar that every month I run this stress test just to know where I'm at. Because if I know that I'm stressed, then I can do something about it. And I've created another video about it, and I'll put the link below about how you can actively do things to actively reduce stress. And I'm a big fan of that. So do that video if you haven't yet seen it. Anyway, we will go ahead and we will do the stress test now together. And in the end, have a look at your score and see where you're at. And remember, the whole stress test is if you read the text properly, and I know I missed it the first time I did it, is in the past year, any of those things, did they happen in the past year? So I will do the stress test here on my iPad, and I will let some music run while we do it together. Yes? So let's get going. So what I do now is I will get my calculator and I will add them up. And I'm really lazy in that. So what I do is I just circle them and then let's add them up. Okay, so today my stress level is a 296, which is a little lower than the last time. I need to double check where the difference are. And if you go to the second page, and I will put it up on the video, both of them, if you don't have it, you can just maybe add it up with your calculator too. So anything above 300, so I'm happy I'm slightly below the 300, is that the likelihood of illness in the near future goes up to 80%. So it is really important to monitor that and to make sure that you keep your stress, that you do actively something to reduce your stress level. And again, if you have not seen the video, I will put the link below and you can watch the video. So I hope to see you tomorrow in the next video where we do day 3 of our practice to overcome perfectionism. And yes, we're taking it slowly because often if we're perfectionists, we will go and jump into something new. And then when it gets a bit hard, that is when stress and anxiety sets in, and then we stop. So we do every day a small step in that direction, because we all have our daily lives. We all have things we need to do. So I don't want to take up too much time and space with this practice. So see you tomorrow, and thank you so much for joining me today. Bye.